Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this channel. This is First the First. Today we will make a summary of the main teams, winners and losers, after the transfers and negotiation made before the NBA deadline. It is a bit extemporaneous to indicate who made good trade and who didn't, with other players having played a considerable amount of games with their new teams. However, we will make our weighting and taking into account the main needs of the teams involved in trades, the player they offered, and the player they received after their negotiations. Let's start. The biggest winner is Boston Celtics. You may wonder, did Boston make any trade? The answer is no. But they become winners because as New Orleans didn't carry out a transfer of Davis to the Lakers, Boston became the main destination for Davis because they have the best asset to offer for him. One of the main winners at this stage is the Toronto Raptors by getting Marc Gasol and sending Jonas Valanciunas, CJ Miles, and DeLon Wright to Memphis. Gasol is a versatile player who plays in front and back to the basket, with good shot of medium and long distance, and also knows how to pass the ball very well. Marc will make a good combination with the main player of his new team, Kawhi Leonard and Kyle Lowry. After this move, Toronto is our favorite to reach the Eastern Conference Final. Another of the big winners was the Philadelphia 76ers. They got to start Tobias Harris and role players like Jonathan Simmons and Mike Scott. In these transfers, the only valuable piece offered by the Sixers was Markelle Fultz. However, after the arrival of Jimmy Butler to Philadelphia and the inconsistencies of Fultz, this player had a defined role in this team. After making these trades, Philadelphia is our favorite team to accompany Toronto in the Eastern Conference Final. One team that made an interesting transaction was Milwaukee Bucks, receiving the three-point shooter Nikola Mirotic and offering players Stanley Johnson and Jason Smith. This move placed Milwaukee among the main teams of the Eastern Conference, but we understand that they would lose facing Toronto or Philly. Another team that we believe is winner is Dallas Mavericks. They received one of the best top players in the NBA, Kristaps Porzingis, and the shooter Tim Hardaway, while they let players with very high contracts such as DeAndre Jordan and Harrison Barnes. Although the result of this trade on NBC in this season, Dallas thought in the medium term. Since next season, they would join Porzingis, his star Luka Doncic, and a superstar who would seek to sign in free agency, which could be Kawhi Leonard or Klay Thompson, maybe. Time has come to talk about the main teams that we consider as losers in this process. Teams that we understand made unfortunate transactions that could affect their performance in the short, medium, and long term. The main team is Memphis Grizzlies. As we mentioned a moment ago, Memphis offered his franchise player Marc Gasol to receive role players as Jonas Valanciunas and CJ Miles. Memphis sought to free up salary space, but could have received in that trade better players and future draft picks. Another team that made unfortunate moves was Clippers. They transferred their main player Tobias Harris and two role players from the bench to receive older players such as Michael Beasley and Garrett Temple. The only bright spot in this transfer was the young player Rebecca Sobek, in addition to the picks they will receive in future drafts. Other movement that we didn't understand was the made by the New York Knicks by trading their star Kristaps Porzingis for two players with big contracts like Harrison Barnes and DeAndre Jordan. We know the next plan is to sign two superstars in free agency. However, we understand that it's easier to attract those guys if you already have one. Finally, there is a team that we consider as a winner because they didn't trade their young core for Anthony Davis. This is Lakers. Not doing this trade allows the Lakers to keep all the young core with LeBron James. It would only be necessary to add one more superstar in the summer for this team to be a contender for the title. Hey, leave me a comment indicating whether or not you agree with my statement. Don't forget to subscribe here so you can watch the latest from this channel. This is the first